2, right? Means the data which is joined with another data, right? We will ignore that item set also if it does not met the minimum support threshold, right? So if you do the one numerical, then it will be clear, right? So if an item set has value less than minimum support, then all of its superset will also fall below the minimum support. Thus, we can ignore that items, right? And this property is called anti-monotone property, right? Next is, as said earlier, that there are two steps of a priori algorithm. One is join step and another one is prune step, right? So join step generates k plus one item set from k item sets by joining each item with itself, right? So we have given the k item set, and this step generates k plus one item set from k item set by joining the item with itself. Its second one is prune step. Prune step scans the count of each item in the database, and if the candidate item does not meet the minimum support, so you have given a minimum support, right? If this item does not meet the minimum support, then it is regarded as infrequent. This is not frequent item set. So we will remove this item from the database, right? And this step is performed iteratively, right, to reduce the size of candidate item set. And at the last, we will get the frequent item set, right? So what are the steps? So a priori algorithm is a sequence of steps to be followed to find the most frequent item set in the given database, right? So we will follow the join and prune step iteratively and until we find the most frequent item, right? So we have given a minimum support threshold, right? Or you can assume a value of minimum support threshold. Either the minimum support is given like 50% or 60%, or you can assume that means the minimum support is 50% or minimum support is 40% or minimum support count is 3 or 2, right? So the first step in a priori algorithm is the first iteration of the algorithm. Means we will take each item in that part, right? So it is taken as one item set candidate, right? So we will count the occurrence of each item in the first step, right? In second step, we will have some minimum support, right? For example, we will have minimum support 2, right? So here given the minimum support is 2, right? So we can have minimum support 3 as well, right? So the set of one item set whose occurrence is satisfying the minimum support are taken in the next step, right? And if the item sets are less than that minimum support, we will remove that item, right? We will remove that item. In the third step, we will have two item set frequent items with minimum support are discovered. So for this, in the join step, we will have the two item sets that is generated by forming a group of 2 by combining the item itself. So let us suppose there are k items. So we will join the k item with another item, right? That is k plus 1 item. So this is the third step. In the fourth step, we have two item set candidates that are pruned using minimum support threshold value. Now in the table, we will have two item set with minimum support only. In the next iteration, we will form three item set with the help of join and prune step, right? In the same way, in the next step, we will follow the four item set by joining the three item set with itself. And if this subset does not meet the minimum support criteria, we will remove that item in the data set and we will get the most frequent item, right? Okay, who is recording the session? Who is recording the session? Who is recording the session? Jayant. Okay. So यहाँ तक clear है आपको? Yes, any one of you? Am I audible na, in the whole from the starting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if we take one example, right? So this is the table in which we have 6 transactions, right? T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, and T6, right? And there are a list of items in each transactions. In T1 we have I1, I2, I3. In T2 we have I2, I3, I4. In T3 we have I4, I5. In T4 we have I1, I2, I4. In T5 we have I1, I2, I3, I5. And in T6 we have I1, I2, I3, and I4. Okay. So make this table in your notebook, all of you. Make this table in your notebook. Done?
Yes, sir.
All of you done?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, make it quickly. Right?
Done, sir.
Done. Just a minute. Huh? So you have given the support threshold equals to 50% and confidence equals to 60%, right? So what does a priori algorithm says? What is the first step of a priori algorithm? Any one of you?
Join.
Join means first we have to separate each item and we will get the count of every item in first table, right? So in the first step, first you will calculate the minimum support count. How to find the minimum support count? The minimum support count is calculated by what you have given a support threshold 50%, right? So you have to calculate the minimum support count by 50 into what are the number of transactions? Number of transactions are 6 divided by 100, right? So what is the value?
So 3.
3. So minimum support count is 3. If any item set is less than this value 3, so this item set will be removed from the table, right? So first, so support threshold is equals to 50%, that is the minimum support value. In table 2, we will have the count of each item, that is I1, I2, I3, I4, and I5, right? So if you check this table, I1 appears how many times in that list of items?
So 4.
Char.
I1 appears, if you count this, I1 appears here, right? I1 appears here, here, and here. So 4 times. So you will write in the second table count of each item that I1 appears 4 times in the database or in the transaction, right? The same applies for I2, I3, I4, and I5. I2 appears 5 times, right? I2 appears 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So make that table by counting each item. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the next step? So we have done the initial step, means we have segregated the items and their count. Count is minimum, means the count is the number of items that exist in the transaction, right? What is the second step? What will be the second step? Second step is prune, right? Means we will check if any item is less than this minimum support value, then we will remove that item, right? So which item is less than the minimum support value?
I5.
I5 is less than the minimum support value. So in next step, we will remove that item, right? So this table 2 shows, table 2 is this. Table 2 shows that I5 item does not meet minimum support, that is equals to 3. Thus, it is removed from the database, right? Now we will have only 4 items, that is I1, I2, I3, I4 that meet the minimum support count, right? So these are equals to or greater than the minimum support count. So these all are greater than 3, right? So we will have
Yes.
these items in the data set, right? So ये table भी बना लो आप, ठीक है? This is prune step. और को आ रहा है ना समझ में? Now, what is the next step? What is the next step? The next step is again the join step, right? So we will join each item with another item, right? We have 4 items here. So we will join I1, I2, I1, I3, I1, I4. Then we will join I2, I3, I2, I4. Then we will join I3, I4 in the next step, right? So this. Then we will have again the join step, right? So we will form the 2 item set. So in the initial table, we have 1 item set table. So we will form 2 item set here, right? From the previous table, right? This is the previous table. So we will form I1, I2, then I1, I3, then I1, I4, right? Then we will have I2, I3, then I2, I4. then we will have I3, I4, right? So we will create this table: I1, I2, I1, I3, I1, I4, I2, I3, and I2, I4, and I3, I4, right? And how to count the values means how to count the occurrence. For counting the occurrence, we will check the initial table, right? So go to the initial table. I1, I2 occurs how many times? 1, 2, 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times, right? So I1, I2 count is 4. Now we will check for I1, I3. I1, I3 in 1, 2, and 3, right? So we will have the count 3 here. Then I1, I4, I1, I4 occurrences, I1, I4 here, I1, I4 here, 2 times, right? Then again, I2, I3, I2, I3 here, I2, I3 here, I2, I3 here, I2, I3
4 times.
4 times. Okay. Then again, I2, I4, I2, I4 count from the initial table. I2, I4 1, I2, I4 2, I2, I4 3, 3
Yes,
times.
sir.
Okay. Then again, I3, I4, I3, I4 1,
2 times.
2 times. Okay. Now, after that, what will you do? After that, the prune step, right? The minimum support threshold is 3. So the value less than that threshold, we will remove that value, right? So what are the values less than the threshold? I1, I4, and I3, I4, right? There are only 2 values which is less than minimum support count, right? So we will remove that value. So these values are removed. So we will have I1, I2, I1, I2, I1, I3, I2, I3, or I2, I4, right? So make this table also. Done.
Yes, sir.
Now, what will be the next step? What will be the next step? The next step is again join,
Join
right?
step.
Join step. So you have to create 3 item set, right? So we have done 1 item set, 2 item set, and now the turn is 3 item set. So what are the item set? I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I4, right? I1, I3, I4, and I2, I3, and I4. ठीक है, यही होंगे ना? I1, I2, I3, this I1, I2, and I3. Then I1, I2, and I4. Then I1, I3, and I4. Then I2, I3, and I4. And I1, I3, and I4. I1, I3, and I4. So then we will do the join and prune step in 5th step, right? So we will form a 3 item set, right? The 3 item set is I1, I2, I3, this I1, I2, I4, I1, I3, I4, and I2, I3, I4. And this table is created from its previous table, right? इस टेबल से आप क्रिएट करोगे, टेबल 5 से आप टेबल लास्ट वाली टेबल क्रिएट करोगे, ठीक है। अगर इसके बाद भी आपको कुछ फ्रीक्वेंट आइटम सेट मिलते हैं तो यू विल क्रिएट द फॉर्म 4 आइटम सेट, ठीक है। अब देखो यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है, you have to count the occurrence from the initial table. So I1, I2, I3 occurs in the initial table. How many times? I1, I2, I3 one time, right? I1, I2, I3 two times. I1, I2, I3 three times, right? Then search for I1, I2, I4. I1, I2, I4 occurs one time. I1, I2, I4 occurs two times. Okay. Then search for I1, I3, I4. I1, I3, and I4.
One time.
Only one time. Okay. Search for I2, I3, I4.
Times.
I2, I3, I4 occurs two times. Okay. So create that table
Yes,
also.
sir.
This table. So for counting, you will check the initial table, right? And for joining, you will check its previous table. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया ना? काउंटिंग के लिए इनिशियल टेबल एंड जॉइनिंग स्टेप के लिए इट्स प्रीवियस टेबल। हो गया, यहां तक हो गया? Write only tables. Do not write a complete this step. Just you have to create the table only. I will provide you this material, right? हो गया?
Yes, sir.
Now, as you can see that what is the minimum support count is 3. So there is only one item set which satisfies the condition, right? That is I1, I2, I3. Rest values are less than the minimum support count. That is 2, 1, and 2. So we will delete these items from that table, right? So we will have I1, I2, I3, right? Which is the frequent item set. So here we will done our a priori algorithm part, that we will find, we are able to find the frequent item set, which is I1, I2, and I3. If there is one more occurrence in that table, then we will create the 4 item set table, right? But here we have finished that join and prune step, right? Suppose there is a condition, right? If I1, I2, I4 has the count 3, right? Then you will create one more table for I1, I2, I3, and I4, right? This is just example. Okay. Now what are the next step? We have find the most frequent item set with the help of a priori algorithm. What is the next step? So we have given the minimum support threshold. Also we have given confidence, right? So you have to generate what you have to generate? You have to generate association rule, right? With this frequent item set, right? So this will be your final step of that algorithm, that you will generate the association rule with the help of I1, I2, and I3, all the possible association rules. So the possible association rules are this. right? You have to generate the association rule. So the first association rule you can generate is I1 I2 implied 3, right? Is the first association rule. Second association rule is I1 I3 implied I1 I3 implied I2, I2 I3 implied I1, I1 implied I2 I3, I2 implied I1 I3, I3 implied I1 I2. So these are the association rules you have to create with the most frequent item set, right? And you have to calculate the confidence of each association rule with the help of formula, that frequency of xy divided by frequency of x, right? It is the formula for confidence. Then you will find that with the help of above values, that the confidence is 75%, 100%, 75%, 75%. This is the exact confidence, that is 60%, 75%. So these association rules are strong if the minimum confidence threshold is 60%, right? यहाँ तक क्लियर है?
सर
हाँ बताओ.
सर ये
Clear?
जो इसमें कॉन्फिडेंस फ्रीक्वेंसी सर, ये 3/4 into 100 3/3 ये कहाँ से लिया सर?
ये कहाँ से लिया? पुराने लेक्चर देखे, वहां से लिया हमने. ये क्लास में आए थे?
यस सर.
कौन सी क्लास में आए थे? ये मैंने क्लास में भी बताया है जब क्लास थी हमारी. हाउ टू कैलकुलेट कॉन्फिडेंस, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट सपोर्ट एंड हाउ टू कैलकुलेट लिफ्ट, राइट? प्रीवियस लेक्चर देखना आप उसमें मूडल पे, वहां से पता चल जाएगा. ठीक है?
ओके सर.
ठीक है. कॉन्फिडेंस कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ एक्स वाई डिवाइडेड बाय फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ एक्स. बाकी औरों को तो पता ही है ना?
यस सर.
बाकी हमने परसेंटेज में निकालना है तो इंटू 100 कर दिया उसे, तो उसका परसेंटेज निकल जाएगा. और हमने इनिशियली क्या दे रखा था? मिनिमम कॉन्फिडेंस क्या दे रखा था? 60% दे रखा था ना. सपोर्ट था 50% एंड कॉन्फिडेंस था 60%. सो the above association rules are strong because the value is greater than 60% or equals to 60%, right? So this rule is exact, right? Because the value is equals to the minimum confidence. This rule is exact, right? Okay, write down one more question, right, for the examination point of view. This question, right? So you have given 5 transactions, right? And the item what is mango, onion, Nintendo, keychain, eggs, yo-yo. Okay, in your first transaction, so you can create some short form for that items, that M is for mango, O is for onion, N is for Nintendo, Key is for keychain, E is for eggs, Y is for yo-yo. Okay, so we have 5 transactions, that is T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5, and we have items. So in the first item we have monkey, second we have donkey, third we have make, right? Fourth we have MUCKY, and fifth we have cookie, right? So you have given 50% support and 60% confidence, right? So you have to apply a priori algorithm for finding the most frequent item set, right? All of you इसको करो जरा और मेरे को आंसर बताओ फटाफट. Means you have to do join and prune step and find the most frequent item set. Okay, सिर्फ फ्रीक्वेंट आइटम सेट तक निकालो, बाकी कॉन्फिडेंस जो आप बाद में निकालोगे उसे बाद में अपना आराम से निकाल लेना, ठीक है। मेरे को सिर्फ मोस्ट फ्रीक्वेंट आइटम सेट बताओ कौन सा आएगा इसमें। ठीक है, इतना सारा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी लिखो और इनका शॉर्ट फॉर्म लिख लो, मोंकी, डोंकी, मेक, म्यूकी एंड कुकी। स्क्रीन विजिबल है ना, आपको दिख रहा है इसमें क्लियर नहीं? व्हाट इज द ओरिजिनल डेटा सेट, ट्रांजैक्शन आईडी एंड आइटम्स व्हाट? फर्स्ट स्टेप हो गया आपका। एनीवन? जयंत छेत्री, हो गया फर्स्ट स्टेप, हो गया ना?
यस सर,
ठीक है, सेकंड स्टेप
कर रहा हूँ अभी।
आया किसी का आंसर?
काफी पहले आई हुई है।
प्रियांशु, निकिता, किसी का आया आंसर?
सर आ तो गया, पर ये मेरा MKE आ रहा है, वो भी 2।
MKE?
हाँ जी।
MKE एक मिनट। MKE तो है ही नहीं, देखो ना कहीं भी। MKE तो OKE, देखो
ओके ही आ रहा है शायद सर।
OKE है आंसर, ठीक है। OKE 3 टाइम्स आ रहा है लास्ट में। देखो देखो पहले आपका बना, मैं सिर्फ आपको ज्वाइन स्टेप बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है। देखो ज्वाइन स्टेप में आपका MK, OK, OE, KE और KY बना था। देखो सबसे पहले आपने इनिशियल आइटम्स लिए, उसमें पहले MOKEY आ गया, ठीक है। बाकी औरों को हमने डिलीट कर दिया, ठीक है। तो MOKEY M appears 3 times, O appears 3 times, K appears 5 times, E appears 4 times, and Y appears 3 times. ये आया आपका?
ये सब मैंने सर ओ में मिस्टेक कर दी थी, मैंने वो 2 कर दिए थे।
हाँ, इसको चेंज कर लो। M 3 बार, O 3 बार, K 3 बार, E 4 टाइम्स एंड Y 3 टाइम्स। ठीक है, ऐसे आ रहा है ये। अब क्या करोगे? अब ज्वाइन स्टेप लगाओगे। M O M K M E M Y O K O E O Y K E K Y और E Y। देखो इसमें से भी अब क्या बचा आपके पास? M K और क्या बचा बताओ?
सर इसमें ओ तो 2 बार है ना, कुकी में तो 4 बार नहीं हो जाएगा?
कहाँ पर है?
के ओ ओ एक ही बार
नहीं,
लेंगे
नहीं।
उसको?
हाँ, एक ही बार लेंगे उसे।
अच्छा ठीक है।
ठीक है, एक ही बार आएगा वो। तो देखो ज्वाइन करने के बाद क्या बचा आपके पास? M K O K O E K E एंड K Y। ठीक है, M K का काउंट है 3, O K का काउंट है 3, O E का काउंट है 3, K E का काउंट है 4 एंड K Y का काउंट है 3। यही आ रहा है?
यस सर।
BSc IT स्टूडेंट्स आपका आ रहा है? हर्ष, हरनीत और कौन कौन है?
यस सर।
आ रहा है ना आपका? अलंकार?
यस सर।
ठीक है, चलो। देन आपका क्या क्या रहा फिर उसके बाद? 3 आइटम सेट कौन कौन से बने? 3 आइटम सेट बताओ। कोई भी बताओ, 3 आइटम सेट कौन कौन से बने?
सर एक कंफ्यूजन है।
हाँ बताओ।
जो कुकी के 2 ओ है सर, वो 1 लेंगे 2 लेंगे?
एक लेंगे, एक उसे। हाँ, थ्री आइटम सेट कौन कौन से बने बताओ?
MKO MKE
हाँ।
OKE।
ठीक है, जो लास्ट आइटम सेट आपका बचा वो बता आपका OKE। ठीक है, अब OKE से क्या करोगे आप? एसोसिएशन रूल बनाओगे और क्या निकालोगे? कॉन्फिडेंस वैल्यू। ठीक है, तो तभी आपका स्टेप कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। ठीक है, जिसका नहीं हुआ है आराम से कर लेना इसे। अब आगे बढ़ते हैं हम। Now, what are the advantages of this a priori algorithm? It is easy to understand. Just you have to count the values and आपका क्या आ जाएगा? आंसर आ जाएगा। ठीक है, join and prune steps होते हैं, that is easy to implement on the large item sets, right, in large database, right. डिसएडवांटेज क्या है? अगर आपके पास आइटम सेट्स बहुत ज्यादा लार्ज हैं, ठीक है, और मिनिमम सपोर्ट आपने बहुत कम ले रखा है। ठीक है, अभी तो हमने 50% मिनिमम सपोर्ट लिया है। मान लिया आपने मिनिमम सपोर्ट क्या ले रखा है? 20% ले रखा है। तब क्या हो जाएगा? आपका कंप्यूटेशन ज्यादा हो जाएगा। ठीक है, आइटम सेट आपको स्कैन बहुत टाइम करना पड़ेगा उसे। ठीक है, और एक और डिसएडवांटेज क्या है? इंटायर डेटाबेस नीड टू बी स्कैन्ड। आपको पूरा डेटाबेस स्कैन करना पड़ता है, हर एक चीज काउंट करनी पड़ती है, तब आपका आंसर आता है इसमें। ठीक है, these are the advantages and disadvantages of a priori algorithm. Application fields of a priori algorithm in education fields, right? It is used to extract association rule for admitted students by their characteristics and specialties. In medical field, for analyzing the patient database. In forestry, for the probability of intensity of forest fire, right? With the help of forest fire data. It is also used by the big companies like Amazon and Google. Amazon, it is used for recommender system, and Google for autocomplete feature, right? So these are the applications of a priori algorithm. Conclusion is a priori algorithm is efficient algorithm and scans the database only once. ठीक है, आपको complete database एक बार scan करना पड़ता है. It reduces the size of item sets in the database for providing the good performance, right? Thus, it helps the customer and industry is better for their decision making process, right? सो ये आपका क्या है, आपका एप्रियोरी एल्गोरिथम का कंक्लूजन है। ठीक है, ये क्लियर है आपको यहाँ तक?
जी सर।
ठीक है, ठीक है, तो हम
Yes,
फिर
sir.
इसको यहीं पर ही एंड करते हैं। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्लास में फिर देखेंगे हम आगे का। ठीक, और जिसका छूट गया है मैं इसी रिकॉर्डिंग को उसमें डाल